Tonight, I invite you to imagine yourself as a medieval king. As you close your eyes, let the noise of the day fade away. Feel the calm of a world built from stone castles, quiet courtyards, and the soft glow of torches. You are not just falling asleep. You are stepping into another life, where time moves slowly and every detail around you feels rich, safe, and timeless. The day begins with a soft light spreading across the sky. Your castle walls catch the first colors of dawn, glowing in warm shades of gold. The air is fresh, carrying the scent of grass and wood smoke. Birds sing from the towers, filling the still morning with gentle sounds. Inside the castle, the halls are wide and cool, echoing with the distant steps of servants starting their duties. You walk through long corridors decorated with banners of your house, each one telling the story of victories and traditions. From the tall windows, you see fields stretching far beyond the walls, villages waking, farmers lighting their fires, and a river reflecting the morning sun. In this quiet moment, the world belongs to you, not in chaos, but in peace. The castle is strong, the land is alive, and you're at the center of it all. The morning inside your castle begins not with noise, but with rhythm. You wake in a chamber high above the courtyard, where the walls are thick stone and the windows are tall arches opening to the rising sun. The curtains of heavy fabric move slightly with the cool air that slips in, carrying the smell of dew and burning wood from fires just lit below. You're not in a hurry. As king, your day is not rushed like the days of others. Instead, it unfolds like a ceremony, one step leading calmly to the next. Servants approach quietly, their footsteps soft on the polished floors. They bring water in copper basins, still steaming from the kitchens. The morning inside your castle begins not with noise, but with rhythm. You wake in a chamber high above the courtyard, where the walls are thick stone and the windows are tall arches opening to the rising sun. The curtains of heavy fabric move slightly with the cool air that slips in, carrying the smell of dew and burning wood from fires just lit below. You're not in a hurry. As king, your day is not rushed like the days of others. Instead, it unfolds like a ceremony, one step leading calmly to the next. Servants approach quietly, their footsteps soft on the polished floors. They bring water in copper basins, still steaming from the kitchens. You wash your face and hands, the cool water refreshing, waking you slowly into the role you must carry. A robe of deep color, trimmed with gold thread, is placed around your shoulders. The weight of it is comforting, reminding you of the power you hold and the respect given to you by all in the land. Breakfast is not simply food. It is ritual. A long wooden table is set near the window, and there are bowls of fruits, dark bread still warm, honey in small clay jars, and cheese carried from farms beyond the walls. You eat slowly, not out of hunger, but out of appreciation. The flavors are simple but rich, and every bite reminds you of the people who work in fields and kitchens to make such a morning possible. As you drink spiced wine, you notice the faint bells from a chapel below, their tone calling priests and monks to prayer. It is a sound that blends with the birds outside, a harmony that belongs to this place alone. Once your meal is done, you stand and make your way through the castle corridors. The stone beneath your feet is cool, polished by generations of rulers who walked before you. Torches still burn in the darker halls, their flames flickering against carvings and tapestries that tell the history of battles, alliances, and legends of your ancestors. Every image is a reminder that your life is part of a longer story, one that stretches backward into time and forward into a future you cannot yet see. You step out onto the balcony overlooking the main courtyard. The scene below is alive but ordered. Guards change posts to the gates, their armor catching the morning light. Stable boys brush the coats of horses, preparing them for the day. Blacksmiths hammer at glowing iron, their strikes ringing like steady drums. The sound is strong but not harsh. It is the heartbeat of your castle, a rhythm that promises strength and safety. From high above, you see all this and feel both proud and calm. The kingdom does not rush. It breathes, As the morning continues, advisors arrive in the hall to discuss matters of the realm. They carry scrolls and ledgers, their voices low and careful. They bring news of taxes, crops, disputes between lords, and plans for festivals. You listen with patience. You do not need to decide quickly. Instead, you weigh every word, considering the effect it will have not only on today, but on many days to come. The hall is quiet except for the scratching of quills on parchment, recording your choices. Each decision, even small, carries the weight of the crown. Between councils, you walk the gardens within the castle walls. The air is filled with the scent of roses, mint, and lavender planted by careful hands. Fountains trickle with steady water, reflecting the blue sky. You pause beside one, letting the sound of the flowing water relax you. Birds hop across the stones, and bees move from flower to flower. It is in these gardens that you feel both ruler and man. Here, away from banners and armor, you're simply a presence in the calm flow of nature. The garden does not bow to you, it welcomes you. In the training yard, knights and young squires practice their drills. The clash of wooden swords and the heavy thud of shields echo in steady rhythm. You watch them, remembering the days when you were young, holding a sword that felt too heavy, sweating under armor that seemed impossible to bear. Now you stand with ease, the years of learning behind you, the authority of command around you. You encourage them not with loud words, but with steady presence. They bow when they see you, and their respect is clear in the way they fight harder under your gaze. Strength is not noise. It is discipline, and you see it in them. Later, you retreat to the library, a chamber lined with shelves of scrolls and books bound in leather. The air is thick with the scent of ink and parchment. Here, time slows further. You run your hand along the spines of volumes written by monks and scholars, some telling the history of your land, others filled with the thoughts of philosophers from distant kingdoms. You open one carefully, reading not for quick knowledge, but for the pleasure of words. The quiet scratch of a scribe working at a desk nearby blends with the rustle of pages. In this silence, you feel the deep weight of wisdom passed down through centuries. By midday, the castle hums with energy. The kitchens prepare meals for the court, the smell of roasting meat and fresh bread drifting through the halls. The marketplace beyond the gates grows louder, but from inside the castle it reaches you as a distant murmur, a reminder that life outside is as alive as life within. You pause once more at a window, letting the warm sun touch your face. The sun climbs higher, casting long beams of light through the tall windows of your castle. By midday, the stones of the courtyard are warm, and the banners above them ripple gently in the breeze. The rhythm of the day has shifted. The quiet of the morning is now filled with the steady pulse of life inside your stronghold. Yet even in this activity, there is no chaos. Everything follows a pattern, as if your kingdom itself breathes in time with you. Servants move through the corridors with baskets of bread, pitchers of ale, and trays of fruit. Their hands are quick, but their voices remain low, careful not to disturb the calm. The smell of roasted meats escapes from the kitchens, mingling with the faint sweetness of baked apples and cinnamon. These scents drift into the halls, greeting you before the meal even begins. You make your way to the great hall, the heart of your castle, where long wooden tables stand ready. The surface of each table gleams with polish, and on them are spread the foods of your land. Bread baked that morning, cheeses aged in stone cellars, fish caught from the river, and herbs gathered fresh from the gardens. Your seat is set at the head of the hall, not as a throne, but as a place of presence. Lords, advisors, and captains gather nearby, waiting for your word to begin. The noise is hushed, respectful. When you sit, the hall comes alive with sound. Cups raised, knives cutting, voices blending into the music of shared company. Yet even in the cheer, the pace is slow. People savor each bite, each sip. The meal is not simply to feed the body. It is a ritual that binds the court together, reminding everyone of the order and the unity under your crown. As you eat, your eyes wander to the tall stone walls decorated with shields, banners, and paintings of past kings. Every image is a reminder that you are part of a lineage, a story that stretches beyond your own lifetime. The flicker of torchlight makes the images seem alive, as if the eyes of those who came before you still watch over the hall. For a moment, you feel them with you, not as shadows, but as companions guiding your hand in all you do. When the meal is done, you rise slowly, your robes moving gently as you step through the hall. The chatter softens until silence returns. You make your way to the outer balcony, where the world beyond the walls greets you with sound and sight. The clatter of carts on cobblestones drifts upward. Merchants call out in voices carried by the wind. Children laugh somewhere below, their voices like clear bells ringing in the distance. The smell of hay and horses rises from the stables, blending with the fresher scent of herbs from the gardens. Everything is alive, yet for where you stand, it feels balanced, steady, unhurried. You walk down to the courtyard, where guards are lined in perfect order, their armor gleaming beneath the sun. Each stands still, the weight of duty clear in their posture. They bow as you pass, their respect quiet but strong. You feel not only their loyalty, but also their pride, for in serving you, they serve the kingdom itself. The clang of a blacksmith's hammer echoes from nearby, shaping glowing iron into swords and tools. Sparks fly with each strike, yet the rhythm is almost musical, a steady beat that reassures you of the strength within your walls. Beyond the courtyard lies the orchard, where fruit trees grow heavy with apples and pears. The air is filled with the buzzing of bees moving from blossom to blossom. You walk slowly between the rows, touching the bark of trees that have stood for generations. A gardener bows as you pass, his hands stained with soil, his face proud of the life he tends. You pause to pick an apple, its skin warm from the sun, and taste its sweetness. The flavor is simple, yet in it you feel the essence of your land: earth, rain, sunlight, and time. Later, you return to your private chamber, where a large wooden desk waits with scrolls and letters sealed in wax. Messages from distant lords, requests from merchants, and notes from scholars lie before you. You open them one by one, reading slowly. Some bring news of trade and alliances. Others carry the worries of villages far away. You respond with care, each word chosen not just to solve a problem, but to maintain balance. Your writing is steady, your thoughts calm. Each letter sealed carries a part of your wisdom out into the world, like a ripple moving across water. The sound of a lute drifts through the air, played by a minstrel in the hall beyond. The melody is soft, almost like a whisper, filling the quiet of your chamber without disturbing it. You pause in your work, letting the notes flow over you. Music is not only entertainment. It is a reminder that beauty exists alongside duty. The song slows your thoughts, easing the weight of decisions, reminding you that even kings are meant to rest in the music of their time. As the afternoon moves closer, you visit the chapel within the castle walls. The heavy wooden doors open to a space filled with candles, their flames dancing gently against the carved stone. The air smells of incense, warm and earthy. Monks chant in low tones, their voices blending into a sound that seems older than the walls themselves. You kneel, not in fear but in gratitude, breathing deeply, allowing the calm to settle in your heart. The silence here is not empty. It is full, rich with presence, guiding you back to the center of who you are. When you leave the chapel, the light outside has softened. The sun begins its slow descent, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose. The castle is quieter now, the rush of tasks easing into the rhythm of evening. From the towers, horns sound, marking the hour, their notes echoing far into the hills. You stand once more at your balcony, the land stretching endlessly before you. Fields, rivers, villages, all alive, all connected to your hand. The midday has passed, the duties have been met, and now the kingdom itself prepares to rest. Your heart is steady, your breath is calm. You are king not through force, but through presence, through the quiet strength that carries your people. And as the day bends toward evening, You carry with you the peace of knowing that each moment, each sound, each choice has unfolded exactly as it should. The afternoon stretches before you, calm yet full of meaning. The sun is still high, though the light has begun to soften, turning from sharp brightness to a warmer glow. The shadows across the courtyard grow longer, stretching from the walls like gentle arms embracing the earth. This is the time when the castle slows, when the energy of the morning begins to ease, and a different rhythm takes hold. Steady, thoughtful, unhurried. You step into the training yard again, where knights and squires continue their practice. Wooden swords clash with a hollow thud, and shields ring with each strike. Dust rises beneath their boots as they move in circles, sweat shining on their foreheads. You stand at the edge, watching closely. Their movements are not perfect, but they are strong, and each mistake is a lesson that shapes them. When they notice your gaze, their backs straighten, their strikes sharpen, and their spirits lift. Your presence alone carries weight, more than any command could. You give a small nod, and they redouble their efforts, proud to prove themselves beneath your watchful eye. After a while, you leave the yard and walk through the quieter passages of the castle. The air inside is cool, carrying the scent of old wood and candle wax. You pass by chambers where scribes bend over parchment, their quills scratching in steady rhythm. Ink stains their fingers, yet their work is precise, copying texts that preserve the knowledge of ages. The sound of quills is soft, like rain against stone, a background music to the wisdom being stored for future generations. You pause to watch, and one scribe looks up with nervous respect. You smile gently, reminding him that his labor, though quiet, is as valuable as the knight's sword. Knowledge, too, is a weapon, though it strikes with patience instead of steel. Beyond the scriptorium lies the armory. The smell here is of iron and oil, sharp and heavy. Racks of swords and spears line the walls, their polished metal catching the afternoon light that filters in through narrow slits. Armor stands in ordered rows, waiting for the next battle that may come, though today all is peaceful. You run a hand across the surface of a shield, its wood smooth, its metal rim cold to the touch. Every weapon here tells a story of defense, of duty, of the unspoken promise you carry to protect your people. The armory is silent, but its silence is powerful. Later, you step outside the walls, accompanied by guards, but walking not as a warrior, only as a man among his land. The fields beyond the castle stretch wide, painted green and gold under the sun. Farmers bend low to the earth, tending rows of crops that will feed both palace and village alike. Their hands are rough, their clothes simple, yet their movements are steady and sure. When they see you, they pause, bowing their heads. You raise your hand gently, a gesture not of command, but of respect returned. For without their work, no castle could stand, no crown could hold meaning. You breathe in the scent of soil and growing plants, and it fills you with quiet gratitude. In the distance, you hear the bleating of sheep and the lowing of cattle. Shepherds guide their flocks across hills, their calls blending with the barking of dogs. The sound drifts through the warm air like part of a song that has no end. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the sounds, the smells, the warmth of the sun all weave together into a tapestry of peace. You are not only king of castles and courts, you are king of earth, of rivers, of animals, of the endless cycle of life that surrounds you. As the afternoon deepens, you return to the inner gardens of your keep. The fountains splash softly, their water sparkling in the fading light. Children of the court play nearby, their laughter ringing like bells. They chase one another between rows of roses and lavender, their joy unbroken, untouched by the weight of duty. You watch them for a time, smiling at their innocence. Their world is small and safe, sheltered beneath the walls you protect. Their laughter reminds you of your own youth, long before the crown rested upon your brow. It is a gentle memory, both sweet and distant. Your advisors gather once more in the council chamber, bringing with them more matters of the realm. Yet the afternoon session is less urgent than the morning. Now, they speak of festivals, of music and trade, of plans for markets and tournaments. They present ideas for celebrations that will bring joy to the people, events where knights will compete in justs and minstrels will fill the air with song. As they speak, you picture the laughter of villagers, the banners flying high, the cheer of crowds in the arena. These are not matters of survival, but of spirit, and you know they are just as important. A kingdom thrives not only on food and defense, but also on happiness. When the council ends, you retreat once more to your chamber. The golden light of afternoon streams through the windows, painting long shapes on the floor. You sit at your desk, not with scrolls of politics, but with letters from family and friends. You read the careful handwriting, words of affection, and small stories of daily life. They bring warmth to your heart, reminding you that even kings need connection, even rulers need gentle words. You take your quill and write in return, your ink flowing steadily, each sentence carrying part of your heart across the miles. Outside, the sun begins to lower toward the horizon. Its light turns softer still, shifting to orange and red. The air cools slightly, and a calm silence spreads across the land. You step once more onto the balcony, looking out at the wide fields, the distant forests, and the river that glimmers like silver under the sky. The day has passed without rush, every moment unfolding in calm order. The kingdom breathes with you, and you feel the truth of your reign, that strength is not in haste, but in presence. The afternoon closes gently, preparing both you and your realm for the quiet that evening will bring. The afternoon has passed, and the air has changed. The heat of the sun begins to fade, replaced by a softer, cooler breeze that drifts through the castle's open corridors. Shadows stretch across the courtyard, growing long and calm. The sky above glows with warm shades of orange and crimson, the slow painting of dusk across your kingdom. This is the time when the day leans into rest, when the weight of duty eases and the pace of life becomes gentle again. You begin the evening in the great hall, where torches are lit one by one, their flames dancing against stone walls and painted shields. Servants carry trays of food to prepare for the night's feast. But tonight is not about indulgence or grandeur. It is about presence, about gathering those who serve you and those who stand by your side. The tables are set with bread, roasted fowl, bowls of soup fragrant with herbs, and cups of spiced wine. You sit at your place, and the hall fills with sound. Not the loud cheer of a festival, but the softer hum of conversation. Lords share stories, knights laugh gently, and musicians begin to pluck the strings of their lutes. The music is light, almost playful, and it drifts through the air like a gentle river of sound. As you eat, you listen more than you speak. Your people tell tales of the day's small victories, of repairs finished, of harvests ready, of disputes settled. Every voice adds to the fabric of your realm, each one a thread that strengthens the whole. You smile, nodding, adding a word here and there, but mostly you absorb. You let them feel heard because their voices are what make the crown real. In this hall, under the glow of torches and the echoes of music, your kingdom breathes through its people. When the meal is done, the musicians grow bolder. Flutes join the lutes, and the rhythm of drums begins to echo softly through the hall. Dancers step forward, their movements graceful, their garments flowing with the motion of their bodies. You watch with calm delight, your heart lightened by the beauty before you. For a moment, the duties of a king fall away, replaced by the simple joy of watching art, of seeing your people create something that exists only for beauty's sake. It reminds you that a kingdom is not only about strength or wealth. It is about joy, about music, about shared moments that linger in memory long after the night ends. Later, you rise and move through the castle's quieter halls. The torches burn steadily, their flames casting long shadows across carved stone. The corridors feel different now, filled with the silence of evening, a silence that is not empty but rich. You pass by the library again, where a few scribes remain at work, their candles glowing like tiny suns in the dark. The sound of quills on parchment is slower now, less hurried, more thoughtful. You nod as you pass, respecting their endless devotion to preserving knowledge. You step into the chapel, where the last service of the day is ending. Candles flicker on the altar, their lights soft and golden. The monks chant in low, steady voices, their song filling the chamber like a tide. The air is heavy with incense, a warm, earthy scent that lingers on your robes as you kneel. You close your eyes and let the sound carry you. In that moment, you are not king or ruler. You are simply a man, breathing with the rhythm of voices that seem to rise into eternity. The chant fades, the monks bow, and silence returns, deeper now, more profound. Outside, the world grows darker. Stars appear, one by one, above the horizon, their light piercing the fading glow of sunset. You walk along the walls of your castle, the guards bowing as you pass. From here, the land stretches into the night, dotted with the faint lights of village fires and cottages. Smoke rises in thin streams, blending into the cool air. You listen closely and can almost hear the life of your people. The laughter of families sharing meals, the bark of a dog guarding its home, the murmur of voices settling into rest. The kingdom is alive, even in its quiet, and you feel its pulse steady beneath your feet. As you return to the inner courtyard, the air is cool and filled with the scent of burning wood. A fire crackles in a great pit at the center, its flames rising high, casting a warm glow over the faces of those who gather around it. Guards share quiet words, servants exchange gentle laughter, and minstrels play soft songs on their instruments. You join them, not as a distant ruler, but as part of the circle. The fire warms your skin, the music soothes your mind, and the night sky above feels endless. Here, in this moment, you are both king and companion, both leader and friend. The evening winds down slowly. The fire burns lower, the music softens, and the voices fade into whispers. You stand, giving a final nod of gratitude to those gathered, and step back into the halls of your castle. The torches flicker softly, guiding you toward your chamber. The stone beneath your feet is cool, and the air is calm. Each step feels slower, each breath deeper. The day is ending, and with it comes the promise of rest. Back in your chamber, servants prepare your bed, smoothing the linens, adjusting the heavy curtains. The room glows with the light of a single candle, casting gentle shadows across the walls. You remove the weight of your robe, placing it aside, and sit for a moment in silence. Outside your window, the stars shine brightly, scattered across the sky like jewels. The world is quiet now, your kingdom safe, your people at peace. You breathe deeply, letting the calm of the night settle into your bones. The evening of a king is not filled with haste or noise. It is filled with presence, with gratitude, with the slow unfolding of moments that remind you of who you are. As the candle burns low and the castle grows silent, you know that the day has been lived fully and that the night will carry you gently into rest. The castle has grown quieter now, though the night has not yet fully arrived. The torches burn low in their brackets, their flames steady but softer than before. The halls echo with fewer steps as servants finish their tasks and retreat to their quarters. This is the moment in the day when your kingdom rests between the busy pulse of duty and the deep calm of sleep. It is in this pause that you, as king, find time not for command but for reflection. You sit in your private chamber, a room filled with the treasures and symbols of your reign. The heavy curtains are drawn back just enough to let the fading light of evening slip in. On the table before you are scrolls, maps, and small tokens collected over years. Rings given by loyal knights, a dagger from a distant ally, a piece of stone from a cathedral built during your rule. Each item carries a memory, and as you study them, you feel the weight of time not as a burden, but as a gift. These objects remind you of victories won, challenges overcome, and the quiet resilience that has carried your people forward. A candle burns nearby, its wax melting slowly, the flames swaying whenever a faint breeze enters through the window. You lean back in your chair, your hands resting calmly, and let your thoughts drift. You think not of wars or politics, but of the simple moments. The laughter of children in the garden, the steady work of farmers in the fields, the songs sung in the hall during feasts. These images rise in your mind like stars appearing one by one in the night sky, small but steady, forming constellations of meaning. They remind you why the crown exists, not to separate you from your people, but to bind you closer to them. Outside, the sounds of the castle continue in gentle rhythm. The clatter of pots in the kitchen fades. The soft neigh of horses from the stables drifts upward, followed by the muffled voice of a stable hand humming to calm them. From a distant tower, a guard calls out the changing of the watch, his voice clear and steady, marking the passing of hours. These sounds are not interruptions. They're proof that your kingdom breathes safely around you. Every detail is a reassurance, a quiet promise that the walls you guard are strong and the people you protect are at peace. You rise from your chair and walk slowly to the tall window. The view stretches wide, fields fading into darkness, the river glinting faintly under the last traces of light, and the first stars piercing the sky above. You rest your hands on the cool stone of the window ledge and breathe deeply. The air carries the scent of smoke from village fires, mingled with the fresher fragrance of night-blooming flowers planted in your gardens. Each breath grounds you, connects you to the earth, to the lives lived beyond your walls, to the unbroken chain of history you are part of. After a while, you move to the library once more, seeking the quiet company of books. The chamber is dim, lit only by lanterns placed on long tables. The smell of parchment and leather is comforting, like the presence of old friends. You choose a manuscript carefully, one written long before your birth, its pages filled with wisdom collected by monks and scholars. You read not for answers, but for reflection, letting the words stir thoughts that ripple through your mind. Knowledge does not rush. It waits patiently, like stone, to be discovered. You close the book gently and return it to the shelf, grateful for the calm it has given you. The castle's chapel draws you next. Though the earlier service has ended, the doors remain open, and the glow of candles still warms the dark interior. You step inside, the hush of the space surrounding you like an embrace. The carvings on the walls catch the flicker of light, their lines deep and timeless. You kneel, not out of obligation, but out of stillness. You whisper no prayers, speak no words. You only breathe, feeling the vast silence press gently around you, reminding you of mysteries greater than crowns or kingdoms. It is a silence that steadies your soul, anchoring you as night falls. Returning to your chamber, you find the servants have laid a cloak across your chair, a gesture of care against the cool air of evening. You draw it over your shoulders and sit again by the candlelight. The flame burns low now, the wax nearly gone. You close your eyes, allowing memories of the day to pass slowly across your mind. The warmth of the sun on the balcony, the sound of nights training, the joy of music in the great hall, the laughter of children. Each moment comes and goes like a wave, gentle and calm. None of them demand anything from you. They simply exist, and you are grateful. You open your eyes once more, gazing at the candle as it flickers. You know the day is nearly over, yet you feel no regret. You have walked through its hours fully, without haste. You have listened, observed, decided, and reflected. Now, as the flame dwindles, you are ready to let go, to trust the night with what remains. You blow out the candle, and darkness fills the chamber, soft and complete. Beyond the walls, the kingdom continues in its steady rhythm, but here, in your quiet space, all is still. The quiet reflections of a king are not filled with noise or grandeur. They are made of simple breaths, small details, gentle thoughts. And in this stillness, you find your strength. The day has been lived, the night has arrived, and you rest not only as a ruler, but as a man at peace. The final hours of the day arrive gently, like the closing of a great book. The castle no longer hums with the busyness of morning or the laughter of evening feasts. Instead, it breathes in long, slow rhythms. The torches along the corridors burn lower now, their flames smaller, their light golden and soft. The air is cooler, carrying the faint scent of ash from the fires that have burned all day. The world seems to whisper, as though reminding everyone within the walls that it is time to rest. You walk once more through the silent halls. The sound of your steps is clear, echoing softly against stone, but no one rushes to disturb your path. Servants bow their heads as they pass, moving quietly, their work nearly done. The castle has settled into its nighttime order. Guards take their posts on the walls, scribes put down their quills, and the kitchens grow quiet after the fires are dimmed. Each part of the great structure slows, like a body preparing for sleep. Your chambers await you, but before you enter, you take one last walk to the outer walls. The night sky spreads wide above, a deep velvet cloth scattered with countless stars. The moon glows pale and steady, casting silver light across the land. From this height, you see the villages below, their cottages glowing with faint orange light from hearths still burning. Thin streams of smoke rise into the cool air, curling upward like threads woven into the night. The sounds that reach you are few but vivid. The bark of a dog in the distance, the creak of a cart wheel left near a barn, the soft murmur of voices carried faintly on the breeze. Your kingdom is not asleep yet, but it is ready to be. You pause at the edge of the battlements, resting your hands on the cold stone. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with the crisp air of night. It is clean, sharp, and grounding. The peace of this moment is profound. You are not distracted by decisions, nor weighed down by questions. You are simply here in the final hours of day, watching the land you rule rest beneath the stars. The sense of responsibility does not vanish. It transforms into something gentler, quieter, as though the crown itself grows lighter with the setting of the sun. When you return to the inner courtyard, you find a fire still glowing in its great stone pit. A handful of guards and attendants linger nearby, speaking softly, their voices calm and steady. They look to you with quiet respect, bowing their heads, yet you sense no need for ceremony. You share the warmth of the fire with them for a moment, feeling the comfort of its glow. Sparks rise into the air, floating upward until they vanish into the night. The fire crackles, a simple sound, steady and soothing. In its warmth, you feel not only the presence of those around you, but also the continuity of all who have lived within these walls before. At last, you return to your private chamber. The heavy wooden doors close behind you with a gentle thud, sealing you into a space of quiet. The servants have prepared everything carefully. The bed is layered with soft linens, the curtains drawn close, the floor swept clean. A single candle burns on the table beside you, its light casting soft shapes that dance across the stone walls. You remove your crown, your robes, the symbols of your rule, setting them aside with care. In their place, you are only the simple garments of rest. Without the weight of gold or fabric, you feel lighter, almost as if you were stepping out of one life and into another. You sit for a time at the edge of your bed, letting silence fill the room. The candle flickers, its flames small yet steady, a final companion before the darkness comes. You think of the day, its duties, its joys, its challenges, and you let each memory pass without clinging to it. They drift through your mind like leaves on a slow-moving stream. None of them demand your energy now. They simply move onward, carrying themselves into the distance, leaving you calm and unburdened. The sound of the night reaches even here. The faint call of an owl from beyond the walls, the gentle rustle of wind against the window, the muffled footsteps of a guard changing his post outside your chamber. These are not interruptions. They are part of the music of night, soft and natural, surrounding you like a lullaby. You breathe in rhythm with them, your chest rising and falling in calm measure. At last, you lie down upon the bed. The sheets are cool against your skin, the pillows soft and welcoming. You pull the blankets over yourself, the weight of them comforting, grounding you in the present moment. The candle burns low, its flame trembling as though preparing to vanish. You watch it for a moment longer, then close your eyes. Darkness folds gently around you, wrapping you in safety and silence. The final hours of day belong not to duty, but to peace. As king, you have lived this day fully, with strength and with care. Now the world grows quiet, the stars shine steadily above, and your kingdom rests. You let go of thought, of burden, of time itself, and drift into the embrace of night. The day is complete, and you are ready for dreams. As the castle settles into its steady rhythm, your thoughts turn outward beyond the walls of stone to the villages that spread across your land. Though your life as a king is defined by duty, decision, and ceremony, the heartbeat of your kingdom lies in the lives of your people. To understand them is to understand the soul of the realm itself. And so, in your mind, you walk from the high halls of the castle down into the streets and open spaces of the village, where life moves with a different, humbler rhythm. The village awakens not to the sound of horns or trumpets, but to the crowing of roosters and the clatter of wooden shutters pushed open to greet the morning. Smoke curls up from chimneys as families light their hearths, the smell of bread baking and porridge warming filling the air. The sun rises slowly over thatched roofs, painting them in shades of gold and soft gray. The dirt roads glisten slightly from dew, and small streams of water run in shallow ruts carved by countless footsteps, carts, and hooves. Life here is simple, yet every detail breathes with purpose. Children are the first to bring noise to the quiet morning. Their laughter rings across the lanes as they chase one another between cottages, wooden toys in their hands, sticks transformed into swords, stones into treasures. Their voices echo against barns and fences, a playful music that belongs to the freshness of dawn. Mothers call after them, their voices warm but firm, pulling them back for breakfast or small chores. Fathers gather tools, sharpening hoes, carrying buckets, preparing for the long hours in fields that stretch beyond the village edge. It is a rhythm as old as the soil itself, each gesture born from necessity, yet carried out with steady patience. Merchants begin their work soon after. Stalls are opened in the market square, tables spread with cloths that display goods of every kind. Baskets of apples and pears, bundles of herbs tied with twine, and wheels of cheese cut carefully into slices are laid out for the day's trade. The smell of freshly baked bread mixes with the sharp tang of onions, the sweetness of honey, and the earthy weight of dried grains. From one corner comes the clatter of a blacksmith's hammer, striking iron with sparks that dance briefly in the air before fading. From another comes the soft chatter of seamstresses, their hands busy stitching cloth, their voices weaving stories as quickly as their needles sew fabric. The village well becomes a center of gathering. Women draw water, their buckets splashing, ropes creaking as they pull against the weight. They pause to exchange news. Who has been ill? Who has returned from distant work? Which crops are faring well? And which fields need more rain? These small conversations are the threads that weave the village together, more binding than law or decree. Each word carries comfort, connection, and belonging. Children lean over the edge of the well, peering into its dark depths, their reflections rippling on the water far below. Animals add their voices to the day. Chickens cluck and scatter dust as they scratch the ground. Goats bleat from small pens, and cows low as they are led from barns to pasture. Dogs bark, their tails wagging as they chase carts or guard doorways. Horses snort, stamping hooves as farmers hitch them to wagons laden with goods. The sounds overlap, rising and falling like an orchestra tuned, not by design, but by the natural rhythm of life. Nothing feels planned, yet everything fits. The air itself feels alive. It carries the sharp scent of hay, the sweetness of blossoms, the saltiness of sweat from early labor. Smoke lingers in soft trails, curling above the rooftops before dissolving into the open sky. The colors of the village are earthy and honest, brown of soil, gray of stone, red of clay, green of herbs, and gold of ripening grain. It is not the grandeur of marble halls or gilded banners, but the quiet beauty of lives lived close to the ground. As the morning deepens, the square fills with more people. Farmers arrive with carts loaded with vegetables and fruit. Hunters bring rabbits and pheasants, their game strung together in neat rows. Fishermen carry baskets filled with the shining silver of river catch, their scales glimmering like coins in the sun. Each trade is made with words spoken plainly, with coins exchanged, with handshakes given in trust. There is little haste here, only the steady flow of buying, selling, and sharing. The market is not simply an exchange of goods. It is an exchange of lives, each interaction strengthening the bonds of the community. Storytellers sometimes appear standing near the fountain or sitting on a bench in the shade. With gestures wide and voices strong, they spin tales of kings, battles, and legends that stretch back into time. Children gather first, their eyes wide, their mouths open in wonder. Soon adults pause as well, letting themselves be drawn into the weaving of words. For a few minutes, the market square becomes more than a place of trade. It becomes a theater of imagination, where the world grows larger and brighter with every story told. As the hours pass, the village grows louder, busier, yet it never feels overwhelming. The rhythm is natural, balanced. People move not with anxiety, but with steady purpose. They know their roles, their duties, their places within this web of life. And though their hands are calloused, their clothes plain, and their days long, they carry within them a quiet dignity. They are the lifeblood of the kingdom, the reason the castle stands strong, the reason the crown holds meaning. Standing here in your mind, watching, listening, breathing in the world of the village, you feel both ruler and witness. You are not above them, but part of them, your life tied to theirs in every detail. For what is a king without his people? What is a crown without those who believe in it? The village awakens each day not for glory, not for power, but for the simple act of living. And in their lives, you find the heart of your realm. By mid-morning, the market is alive in full color and sound. The square has transformed into the beating heart of the village, where every road and lane seems to lead, where every voice joins the chorus of daily life. The once quiet space is now lined with wooden stalls, tables covered in cloth, baskets overflowing with goods, and barrels filled with food, spices, and ale. The hum of conversation rises like a steady tide, never chaotic, but rich with layers of human sound. Greetings, bargaining, laughter, and the occasional shout from a vendor eager to sell his wares. The smell of the market is as vivid as its sight. Freshly baked bread releases a warm, comforting aroma that mixes with the sharper notes of onions and garlic. Sweet honey drips from combs displayed in jars, and the tang of vinegar and pickled vegetables lingers in the air. Spices brought from faraway lands, pepper, saffron, cinnamon, add a touch of mystery, their fragrances unfamiliar but enticing. Smoke drifts from a fire pit where a cook roasts meat on a spit, the crackling fat hissing as flames lick the edges. The scent is mouth-watering, drawing passers-by closer with every turn. Merchants call out their offers with voices trained to carry over the crowd. Apples, fresh apples, red as the morning sun, shouts one, holding up a basket overflowing with fruit. Wool for winter, thick and warm, cries another, unrolling bolts of coarse cloth dyed in muted colors. A fisherman, his hands still rough from nets, holds up a gleaming trout, its scales flashing silver in the light. Straight from the river this morning, he boasts, pride ringing in his tone. Every stall has its own music, its own rhythm, creating a marketplace that feels alive and endless. Coins clink as hands exchange them, the sound sharp and distinct. Copper pennies, silver groats, and the occasional golden coin change hands, their weight carrying promises of survival, trade, and trust. Yet not every trade is made with money. Some are made with barter, a basket of eggs for a length of cloth, a jug of milk for a pouch of herbs, a chicken for a small tool. These exchanges are quieter, gentler, often sealed with smiles and nods rather than coin. In them lies a reminder that value is not always counted in metal, but in the bonds of community. Children dart through the crowd, weaving between adults with quick feet and bright eyes. Some chase one another with sticks, their laughter pealing like bells. Others help their parents, carrying baskets almost too large for their arms, their small faces proud of the responsibility. From time to time, a merchant offers a child a treat, an apple slice, a honey drop, or a scrap of cloth to turn into a toy. Their delight ripples through the air, infectious and light. The market is not only a place of trade, but also a place of joy, where the innocence of youth adds brightness to the bustle. Musicians gather at the edges of the square, filling the air with melodies that rise above the chatter. A man plucks at a lute, his fingers sure and nimble. A woman plays a wooden flute, her notes light and sweet. Drummers keep a steady beat, their hands striking leather-stretched taut, the rhythm echoing through the market like a heartbeat. People pause as they pass, some swaying slightly to the music, others clapping along. The sound binds everyone together, reminding them that life is not only work, but also song. Storytellers stand near fountains and benches, weaving tales that draw listeners close. Their voices rise and fall with drama, their gestures wide, their expressions vivid. They speak of kings who rode into battle, of queens who ruled with wisdom, of creatures that lurk in forests and rivers. Children sit cross-legged at their feet, eyes wide, while adults stand behind, smiling, half believing, half remembering their own childhood wonder. For a moment, trade pauses, and the square becomes a place of shared imagination, where words create worlds as real as the goods laid out on the stalls. Animals move through the market as well, part of its life and energy. Dogs trot behind their owners, tails wagging as they sniff at the corners of stalls. Chickens flutter in cages, clucking in protest. Goats tug at their ropes, bleeding at the sight of vegetables within reach. Horses stand patiently at the edges, hitched to carts heavy with goods, their ears flicking at the sound of voices. Their presence reminds everyone that this is a living place, connected not only by trade, but by the animals that share in the labor and rhythm of daily life. The square itself holds more than stalls. At its center stands a well, its stones worn smooth by countless hands. Women gather there, drawing water, gossiping quietly, and laughing together. Men rest at its edge, their buckets full, pausing to wipe sweat from their brows before returning to work. The well is more than water. It is community, a place where people meet not only to take what they need, but to share what they know. News travels quickly here, carried in whispers and nods, spreading from house to house, field to field, until the entire village is bound by the same threads of information. As the day deepens, the sun casts warm light over the square, making colors glow brighter. The red of apples, the green of herbs, the golden crust of bread, the silver flash of fish. Dust rises from the ground as feet shuffle, creating a soft haze that shimmers in the light. Voices grow louder, laughter more frequent, and the music swells to match the energy. Yet through it all, there is no chaos. The market is full, but never wild, busy, but never overwhelming. It is balance, the harmony of need and supply, of voice and sound, of life flowing as it always has. You stand within this scene in your mind, not as a stranger, but as the king who holds it all together. You are unseen, yet you feel the pulse of your people, their joys, their struggles, their endless resilience. The market's heart is their heart, and it beats steadily, carrying the rhythm of your kingdom forward. In their trades, their songs, their stories, and their laughter, you hear the true strength of your reign, not in the walls of your castle, but in the lives of those who fill this square. As the sun begins to tilt toward the horizon, the market slowly changes its rhythm. What was once filled with sharp energy and bright voices now softens into a slower pace, like a song moving toward its final verse. The golden light of evening spreads across the square, painting the stalls and rooftops in warm tones of amber and rose. Shadows lengthen, stretching across cobblestones worn smooth by countless feet, and the air cools with each passing minute. The market is not silent. It still hums with life, but the urgency of a morning is gone, replaced by a gentler atmosphere. Merchants begin to lower their voices, their calls less frequent, their gestures slower. Many have sold most of their goods and now sit back, satisfied, talking quietly with neighbors. Bread baskets that were once full now hold only a few loaves. As the sun begins to tilt toward the horizon, the market slowly changes its rhythm. What was once filled with sharp energy and bright voices now softens into a slower pace, like a song moving toward its final verse. The golden light of evening spreads across the square, painting the stalls and rooftops in warm tones of amber and rose. Shadows lengthen, stretching across cobblestones worn smooth by countless feet, and the air cools with each passing minute. The market is not silent. It still hums with life, but the urgency of a morning is gone, replaced by a gentler atmosphere. Merchants begin to lower their voices, their calls less frequent, their gestures slower. Many have sold most of their goods and now sit back, satisfied, talking quietly with neighbors. Bread baskets that were once full now hold only a few loaves, their crusts golden and fragrant. Barrels of apples and pears are lighter, their contents reduced to what will be taken home at day's end. Fishermen have only a few fish left, glistening faintly in the fading light, their silver sheen dulled by time, but still proof of the morning's labor. Even the blacksmith's hammer, so loud and constant earlier, now falls less often, its ringing echo turning softer, slower, as the day wanes. The people of the village move through the square with calmer steps. Families gather their purchases, children carrying small bundles proudly. Mothers tie cloth around baskets, securing food and herbs for the evening meal. Fathers lead carts back toward the roads, their horses pulling slowly, their wheels creaking as they turn toward home. The market that was once a chorus of hundreds of voices is now more like a murmur, a shared whisper of life winding down. Yet even in this quieter state, the heart of the square remains strong, pulsing with connection. The smells of the market are richer now, heavier with the scent of cooked foods and warm bread that lingers in the cooling air. A stew bubbles in a pot near the fire pit, its aroma of meat and vegetables drifting across the square, drawing hungry villagers closer. The last spits of roasting meat turn slowly, their fat sizzling, releasing smoke that curls upward in steady ribbons. Someone pours ale into mugs, the froth catching the glow of firelight. These scents do not call out for attention as boldly as the spices of the morning. They soothe, they promise comfort after a long day of work. Children continue to laugh, though their energy begins to soften. No longer racing wildly, they now sit on the steps of houses or lean against fences, sharing simple games with pebbles and sticks. Some curl up beside their parents, yawning, their small heads resting on strong shoulders. Their laughter is quieter now, more like the hum of a lullaby than the clamor of bells. Dogs lie down near their owners, tails thumping lazily, eyes half closed. Chickens roost in their cages, their clucking subdued. The entire market seems to settle, as though even the animals feel the shift toward rest. Musicians play softer songs as the light fades. The lute's notes are slower, stretched, lingering in the air like threads of gold. The flute joins in, its voice softer, weaving around the melody like smoke. The drumbeat that earlier pulsed like a heartbeat now slows to something gentler, like the quiet rhythm of breath. People gather in small groups, listening, nodding, some swaying gently, their bodies moving with ease rather than energy. The music is no longer for performance. It is for comfort, for ending the day in harmony. Storytellers, too, shift their tone. They no longer speak of battles or great heroes, but of gentler tales. Legends of rivers that sing at night, of stars that carry the voices of ancestors, of animals that protect villages while people sleep. Their words are slower, their voices quieter, yet their stories carry deeper weight. Children lean against their parents, eyes half closed, still listening, their imaginations painting pictures in the air. Adults nod thoughtfully, allowing the words to wash over them like a blessing before night. The square becomes a circle of shared memory, where voices, stories, and silence blend together into calm. As the stalls close, lanterns are lit across the square. Their glow is golden and warm, flickering against the faces of villagers as they pack their goods. The light reflects on barrels, baskets, and stones, giving everything a softer, dreamlike quality. The sound of shutters closing echoes faintly from the cottages nearby. Doors creak, latches click, and smoke rises from chimneys as hearths are stoked for evening meals. The market is no longer a place of trade. It has become a place of gathering, of lingering, of quiet farewells before tomorrow's labor begins anew. The last trades are made, often without words. A small bag of flour is exchanged for a bundle of herbs. A jug of milk is traded for a loaf of bread. These are not transactions of need, but of kindness, neighbors ensuring one another will sleep with enough. Smiles are shared, hands clasped briefly, and promises of tomorrow are spoken with ease. These small gestures reveal the true strength of the market, not in its noise or its wealth, but in its community, in the invisible ties that bind one life to another. The evening sky deepens, turning from gold to purple, from purple to blue. Stars appear one by one, reflected faintly in the well at the square's center. The music fades within the castle as the kingdom outside moves toward rest. The court takes on a life of its own. It is here, in the great hall and the adjoining chambers, that the rituals of power, tradition, and order unfold. The court is not only a place of authority. It is a stage where presence becomes ceremony, where every word, every gesture, every silence carries meaning. To step into this world is to feel the weight of history pressing gently but firmly on your shoulders. The great hall glows with light, torches mounted along the stone walls flickering against banners of deep crimson and gold. Long tables stretch beneath them, polished to a sheen, their surfaces waiting to hold both food and documents, feasts and decrees. At the far end, raised upon a dais, stands your throne, not simply a chair but a symbol. Carved of oak, darkened by centuries, its arms are shaped with intricate designs of lions and eagles, of vines and crowns. It waits not for comfort, but for presence. When you sit upon it, you are no longer only a man. You are the embodiment of the realm itself. As you take your place, the courtiers rise. Advisors in robes trimmed with fur, nobles in garments of rich fabric, and envoys from distant lands all bow in unison. The sound of their movement echoes like a wave through the hall, a single motion of respect that binds them to your authority. Yet beneath the formality, you sense the undercurrent of human nature. Ambition, loyalty, curiosity, and caution, all hidden beneath layers of etiquette. It is your task to read them, to listen not only to their words, but to the silence between them. The herald steps forward, his voice strong as he announces the order of petitions. One by one, the matters of the realm are brought before you. A lord kneels to request judgment in a dispute over land. Two merchants stand side by side, arguing over trade routes and rights to tolls. An envoy presents gifts, silks, spices, and fine metalwork from a neighboring ruler, each offering a token of friendship and expectation. With each case, you listen, you weigh, you decide. The hall falls silent as you speak, your voice carrying across stone walls, clear and steady. Your words do not need force. They carry authority simply because they are yours. The rituals of the court are precise, almost musical in their structure. Each petitioner bows, each herald's voice rises and falls. Each decree is recorded by scribes seated near the dais. Their quills scratch quickly across parchment, capturing your words as permanent record. These documents will be stored in the archives, rolled and sealed, preserved for generations yet to come. In this way, your voice is not only heard in the moment, it is preserved like ink pressed into stone, shaping the memory of your reign. Ceremony extends beyond petitions. Ambassadors are received with ritual gifts. Knights are called forward, kneeling before you as swords are tapped gently on their shoulders, marking their service and loyalty. At times, the court witnesses marriages arranged between noble houses, alliances sealed not only with parchment, but with rings and vows. Priests offer blessings, sprinkling holy water, speaking ancient words that echo through the vaulted ceiling. Every action, no matter how small, is wrapped in tradition, reminding all who gather that they are part of something larger than themselves. Music often fills the pauses of the court. Minstrels stationed near the hall's edge pluck soft notes on their lutes, their melodies weaving gently around the spoken words. The sound steadies the atmosphere, keeping the court from growing heavy with silence. Sometimes the music rises, celebratory and bright, when a victory or alliance is declared. Other times it softens, mournful and slow, when judgments carry sorrow. The music is not decoration. It is part of the language of ceremony, speaking where words cannot. The faces of the court reflect every emotion, though most are hidden behind practiced composure. Nobles nod with approval, whisper in corners, or glance at one another with unreadable eyes. Envoys smile politely, their words wrapped in diplomacy, their thoughts shielded like armor. Servants move quietly, refilling cups, carrying messages, tending to the needs of those who cannot break their composure. Every role, from the highest noble to the youngest page, adds to the living theater of the court. And yet, amidst the grandeur, you remain calm. You know that the court is both necessary and fragile, a place where appearances matter as much as truth. You do not rush your words. You do not display anger or haste. You allow the rituals to unfold as they always have, steady and predictable, for it is in their predictability that the kingdom finds its sense of order. The court is not about surprise. It is about continuity, about the assurance that life under your rule follows a rhythm that has endured for centuries. As the evening deepens, the petitions fade, the ceremonies end, and the nobles withdraw. The hall grows quieter, its echoes softening, its torches burning lower. The throne stands empty again, its presence no less powerful for your absence. The banners still hang, the tables still gleam, the scribes still store the scrolls. The court sleeps, but its rituals remain alive, ready to awaken again with the next gathering. The majesty of the court is not in the noise of politics or the weight of decisions. It is in the steady rhythm of tradition, in the calm unfolding of ceremony, in the presence of a king who sits not only for himself, but for all who bow before him. And in that rhythm, you find peace, not the peace of solitude, but the peace of knowing that the order of your realm endures, one ritual at a time. The court is not only a place of politics and counsel. It is also a place where rituals older than memory are carried out. These sacred practices, performed with patience and reverence, are the threads that bind the realm together. They remind every soul, from the highest noble to the humblest servant, that the kingdom does not rest only on laws or armies, but on belief, tradition, and shared meaning. The chapel within the castle glows with candlelight, its air heavy with incense that drifts upward in long, curling trails. The ceiling arches high, painted with faded colors of saints and symbols, their details softened by time. The stone beneath your feet is worn smooth by generations who have walked here before you, each step another layer in the story of devotion. Priests in robes of white and gold stand near the altar, their voices low as they prepare for the evening ritual. Their chants rise and fall in slow rhythm, echoing through the chamber like waves against a shore. The sound is not loud, but it fills every space, wrapping all present in an invisible cloak of calm. You step forward, the hush of the court following you. Nobles, knights, and advisors stand behind, their heads bowed, their eyes lowered in respect. Even the most ambitious among them fall silent here, for in this place, ambition means nothing. Before the altar, you kneel, The stone is cool beneath your knees, grounding you, steadying you. A priest raises a vessel of water, sprinkling it lightly across your shoulders. The droplets are cold but refreshing, a reminder of humility even in power. He speaks words in a language so old that few understand it now. Yet the meaning is clear: protection, blessing, continuity. The ritual continues with offerings. Bread, salt, and wine are placed upon the altar, symbols of sustenance, preservation, and joy. A bowl of grain is lifted, representing the harvest of a land, the labor of farmers, the cycle of seasons. A candle is lit and placed high, its flame symbolizing both life and memory. You watch as the light flickers, steady yet fragile, and you are reminded that all strength must be cared for, protected, nurtured. Without such care, even the brightest flame can fade. The court watches in stillness as the priests move through each gesture with careful precision. Bells ring softly, their tones high and pure, each one marking a passage in the ceremony. Incense smoke thickens, curling into shapes that seem to rise into the heavens themselves. For a moment, the chapel feels outside of time, as though the world has paused and only this ritual, only this sacred act exists. It is in these pauses that the heart finds peace and the spirit finds its place. You rise when the priest signals, standing tall but calm, your hands resting gently at your sides. A golden cup is offered to you, filled with wine. You drink slowly, the liquid warm, its taste rich and deep. It is not simply wine. It is the symbol of shared life, of celebration and endurance. You hand the cup back, and it is lifted for all to see, a reminder that the blessing given to you is shared with the kingdom itself. What you receive, your people receive. What you carry, they carry. The bond is unbroken. Other rituals follow, each with their own rhythm. Knights kneel before the altar, their swords laid down, their oaths renewed, not only to you, but to the realm itself. Nobles bring tokens of their lands, grains, coins, fabrics, relics, each placed at the altar as signs of unity. Even children of the court are brought forward, their small hands folded in prayer, their wide eyes filled with wonder. They are touched lightly on the forehead by the priest, blessed for the future they will inherit. Every gesture, every word, every silence is part of a larger story, one that stretches back generations and will continue long after your time. When the rituals end, the bells ring again, softer now, like a lullaby. The candles burn steadily, the incense fades slowly, and the court disperses in silence, each person carrying the weight of what they have witnessed. You remain for a moment longer, standing near the altar, your gaze on the flame that still flickers gently. In its glow, you see not only your reflection, but the reflection of your people, countless lives woven together by tradition. The sacred rituals are not for you alone. They're for everyone who belongs to this kingdom, everyone whose life is tied to this land. As you leave the chapel, the air of the hall feels different. It is calmer, steadier, touched by the presence of what has just unfolded. The courtiers walk softly, their voices hushed, their footsteps measured. Even outside, the world seems quieter, as if the very stones of the castle carry the memory of the ritual. You breathe deeply, the scent of incense still clinging faintly to your robes, and feel both humbled and strengthened. The rituals have reminded you of what is eternal, that power is fragile without meaning, that a crown is only as strong as the faith and trust that support it. The sacred rituals of the court are not meant to dazzle with spectacle. They are meant to anchor, to remind all who witness them that life in the kingdom is not random, not chaotic, but bound together by shared tradition. And in that binding lies strength, not the strength of armies or fortresses, but the strength of unity, of belief, of continuity. Not all rituals of the court are solemn. Some are filled with light, music, and laughter, ceremonies of celebration that remind the kingdom that joy is as necessary as law or duty. These moments mark victories, alliances, marriages, and the cycles of seasons. They transform the castle into a stage where the people's spirit shines as brightly as the banners that hang from the walls. The preparations for such ceremonies begin long before the event itself. The Great Hall is swept and decorated, its stone floors polished until they gleam in the torchlight. Fresh rushes are spread across the ground, filling the air with the scent of herbs and flowers. Banners of every noble house are hung along the walls, their colors bright, their symbols bold, creating a tapestry of unity that stretches the length of the chamber. Musicians tune their instruments, the soft notes of lutes and harps drifting through the corridors as they practice melodies that will later fill the air. The anticipation itself is part of the ritual, a slow rising of energy that everyone in the castle can feel. When the day arrives, the court gathers in full splendor. Nobles arrive in garments of rich fabric, silks dyed in deep reds, blues, and greens, trimmed with fur or gold thread. Knights wear their finest armor, polished until it shines like mirrors, though today their swords are ceremonial, carried not for war, but for honor. Servants move quickly yet gracefully, carrying trays of food, pitchers of wine, and bowls of fruit. The hall fills with sound, not of petitions or judgments, but of laughter, greetings, and warm voices rising together. It is no longer the weight of duty that dominates the room, but the celebration of life itself. The ceremonies of celebration begin with words, often spoken by priests or heralds, honoring the occasion. They remind all present of why they have gathered: the joining of two houses in marriage, the birth of a child, the return of soldiers from a victorious campaign, or the changing of seasons that mark the passage of time. Their words are formal, yet they carry warmth. They are followed by blessings, prayers, or simple gestures of unity. Candles lit together, cups raised in unison, vows spoken aloud. These actions anchor the joy of the moment, transforming it into something more than just merriment, something that will be remembered long after the feast is ended. Once the formalities are complete, the hall bursts into life. Musicians strike their strings, drums beat in steady rhythm, and flutes fill the air with bright, dancing notes. The sound lifts spirits, filling the chamber until it seems the very stones themselves vibrate with energy. Dancers take to the floor, their steps quick and graceful, their garments spinning with every turn. Some are professionals, trained to dazzle with their movements. Others are simply villagers or courtiers invited to join, their joy genuine, their laughter contagious. Soon the floor is full, nobles and servants alike moving together, their roles forgotten for a few precious hours. Feast accompany the music and dancing. Long tables groan under the weight of roasted meats, spiced stews, fresh bread, wheels of cheese, and fruits piled high. Wine flows freely, poured into goblets that clink in countless toasts. The smell of roasted boar, seasoned with herbs, mixes with the sweetness of honey cakes and the rich aroma of spiced wine. The air is thick with flavor, each dish a reminder of the bounty of the land and the skill of those who prepare it. Eating is not rushed. It is part of the celebration, a shared experience that binds everyone in the hall together. Storytellers and jesters add to the atmosphere, weaving humor and legend into the night. They move between tables, telling tales of heroic ancestors, of battles fought and won, of foolish lords who learned wisdom through mistakes. Their words bring laughter and sometimes thoughtful silence, as the court remembers not only its strength, but also its humanity. Jesters tumble and jest, their antics breaking down the walls of formality, reminding even the most serious noble that joy and play are also part of life. Their bells jingle as they move, their laughter ringing out as clear as any music. The ceremonies often continue late into the night. Candles burn low, their wax dripping slowly down gilded holders. The torches along the walls flicker, casting long shadows that sway like dancers themselves. The music softens as the hours pass, shifting from lively tunes to gentler melodies that calm a hall. The laughter grows quieter, voices drop, and one by one, people leave the hall, their faces warm with joy, their hearts lighter than when they entered. The celebration does not end abruptly. It fades like the setting sun, slowly, naturally, leaving behind only the glow of memory. For you, as king, these ceremonies carry special weight. You do not simply attend them, you embody them. Your presence at the feast, your laughter shared with your people, your words spoken in blessing, all of these give meaning to the celebration. Without you, the rituals would still exist, but with you, they become more. They remind everyone that the ruler is not distant, not unreachable, but part of the joy of the kingdom. Your smile becomes their smile, your gratitude their gratitude. The connection deepens, invisible yet powerful. When at last the hall is quiet, you stand at its center, looking around at the banners, the tables, the candles burned low. The room is filled with the echo of music, of laughter, of countless voices blended into one. You breathe deeply, carrying the memory of the celebration within you. It is not only duty that sustains a kingdom, it is joy. It is the reminder that life is worth living, worth sharing, worth celebrating. And in these moments, you see the truth, that a kingdom is not only defended by walls and armies, but by the happiness of its people, the unity of their hearts. The ceremonies of celebration, though fleeting, leave behind something lasting. They weave joy into the fabric of your reign, turning moments into memory, memory into tradition, and tradition into strength. And as the last candle flickers out, you know that this joy will carry forward, echoing in the halls long after the night has ended. When the last echoes of celebration fade and the halls grow still, the castle shifts into its nighttime form. The day has given all it could, its noise, its color, its duties, its joys. Now the sun has set, and the walls take on a different life, one of shadows, silence, and slow breathing. The torches burn low along the corridors, their flames flickering gently against stone. The air is cooler, carrying with it the faint sense of wax, smoke, and the flowers that bloom only at night in the castle gardens. The world outside has darkened, and within these walls, everything softens. The great hall, which only hours ago resounded with laughter and music, now stands empty. Tables cleared, benches pushed aside. The vast chamber feels larger, its silence heavy and deep. A few servants move quietly through it, sweeping rushes from the floor, gathering stray cups and scraps of cloth left behind. Their footsteps echo softly, their voices hushed, as though the stones themselves demand quiet at this hour. Above, banners hang motionless, their colors muted in the dim light, waiting patiently for the next dawn to bring them back to life. In the kitchens, the fires are banked, glowing only faintly beneath layers of ash. Pots have been scrubbed, knives set aside, herbs hung to dry for tomorrow's meals. The smell of roasted meat and baked bread still lingers, though faint like a memory. A handful of cooks remain, their work slower now, their voices quiet as they prepare small meals for the guards who will remain awake through the night. The clatter of pans has been replaced by the gentle drip of water from stone sinks, the quiet crackle of embers. Even here, in the heart of daily labor, night brings stillness. The courtyards, once filled with movement, are calm beneath the stars. A single torch burns at each gate, casting small pools of light on the cobblestones. Guards pace slowly, their armor glinting faintly as they walk their posts. The sound of boots against stone is steady, like the ticking of a clock. Horses in the stables snort softly, shifting in their stalls, their breath visible in the cool air. From time to time, an owl calls from the towers, its cry echoing into the night, answered only by silence. The courtyard is no longer a place of training or gathering. It is a space of watchfulness, where time seems to stretch endlessly. Within the inner chambers, the castle breathes with sleep. Servants have retreated to their quarters, their soft murmurs fading into silence as they settle under woolen blankets. Pages curl up on straw beds, exhausted from the day's tasks, their small chests rising and falling in the rhythm of dreams. Even the noble's chambers are quiet, candles extinguished, heavy curtains drawn tight. The hum of voices has stilled, leaving only the occasional creak of wood, the sigh of wind against shutters, the faint rustle of tapestries shifting with unseen drafts. The castle holds its people as gently as a cradle, surrounding them with stone that feels both protective and eternal. Your own steps echo softly as you walk through the corridors. You pass by tall windows that frame the night outside, the stars scattered across the sky, the moon casting silver light across distant fields, the faint glow of village fires in the valleys below. Each window offers a view of peace, a reminder that the kingdom rests in safety while the castle stands guard. You pause at one, your hand resting on the cool stone of the sill, and breathe deeply. The night air drifts in, cool and clean, filling your lungs and calming your heart. In this quiet hour, the weight of rule feels lighter, softened by the silence of your sleeping people. The chapel, too, is transformed at night. Its doors remain open, welcoming any who seek its silence. Inside, only a few candles remain lit, their flames casting long shadows across carved walls. The smell of incense still lingers, faint but present, a reminder of prayers whispered earlier in the day. The silence is complete, broken only by the faint crackle of wicks. You kneel for a moment, not to speak words, but to listen to the quiet, to your breath, to the stillness that seems alive with unseen presence. The chapel at night is not empty. It is full, filled with the weight of countless prayers that still echo invisibly within its walls. You continue your walk, moving toward the library. The chamber is darker now, lanterns extinguished, save for one burning faintly near a scribe who works late. His quill scratches softly against parchment, the sound small and steady. He looks up briefly as you pass, his eyes widening in respect, then quickly bows and returns to his work. You watch for a moment, admiring the dedication of one who serves not with sword or shield, but with words and ink. Knowledge like stone endures. Even at night, it is built quietly, line by line, a fortress of thought that will outlast any battle. At last, you return to your private chamber. The servants have prepared it with care. Sheets smooth, blankets layered, a small fire burning low in the hearth. The room is warm, its shadows soft, its silence deep. You remove the weight of your crown, your robes, your jewels, setting them aside until morning. Dressed now in the simple garments of rest, you feel lighter, freer, as though the walls of duty themselves have lifted away. You sit for a moment near the fire, watching its flames curl and fade, each spark rising briefly before disappearing into the air. The warmth touches your face, soothing, calming, drawing you toward rest. As you lie down in your bed, the castle continues its slow breathing around you. The guards keep watch, the servants sleep, the torches burn low, the animals settle into stillness. Above, the stars shine steadily, their light crossing centuries, unchanging, eternal. You close your eyes, listening not to noise but to silence, to the quiet music of night that fills every corner of your world. The castle after sunset is not empty. It is alive in a different way, alive with rest, with peace, with the promise of another dawn. And as you drift deeper into calm, you know that you and your kingdom are safe, wrapped in the timeless embrace of night. When night deepens, the castle becomes a labyrinth of silence. The torches along the walls burn lower, their flames small and steady, leaving long shadows that stretch across stone floors. The corridors, once filled with voices and footsteps, now echo only with the faint sound of your own movement. The silence is not emptiness, it is presence. Every wall, every doorway, every stair seems to listen, holding its breath as if aware that the kingdom sleeps. You walk slowly through these passages, your steps measured, your pace unhurried. The sound of your boots against stone is steady and calm, the only rhythm in the quiet hallways. At times, you pause to listen. From somewhere distant, you hear the soft creak of a door, the low murmur of a guard exchanging words with his watchmate, the faint clatter of a chain against a wall as the wind moves through an open slit. These sounds are not disturbances. They are the music of a living fortress, small reminders that even in silence, the castle breathes. Tapestries line the walls of the grand corridors, their colors muted in the dim light. They tell stories of battles, of hunts, of kings who ruled before you. In the daytime, they blaze with detail. At night, they soften, their outlines blending into shadow. As you pass, you imagine the figures within them moving. Knights raising swords, horses galloping, kings lifting crowns, yet all in the slow rhythm of dreams. The stories of your ancestors seem to live within the silence, reminding you that you walk not alone, but as part of an endless line of rulers who once passed through these same halls. The windows in the corridors reveal the night outside. Through tall arches of stone, you see the sky, deep and endless, pierced by countless stars. The moonlight streams in, silver and soft, casting pale patterns across the floor. Sometimes the glass is frosted with condensation, distorting the view into waves of light. You pause to rest your hand on the cool stone beneath the windows, breathing in the faint scent of night air drifting through the cracks. Each window feels like a portal between two worlds, the world of stone and silence within, and a vast open expanse of sky beyond. You move deeper into the castle, passing doors that remain closed for the night. Behind some, servants sleep on straw beds, their breathing steady, their dreams carrying them far from the day's labors. Behind others, nobles lie in comfort, curtains drawn, fires banked, chambers filled with quiet. The doors stand like sentinels, holding the boundary between waking and sleeping, silence and dream. You do not disturb them. You pass with respect, knowing that within each room lies a piece of the kingdom's heart. The stairways are hushed, their stone steps cool under your hand as you trail it along the railing. The spiral staircases twist upward into towers and downward into cellars, each turn swallowing light, each corner filled with shadow. Guards keep watch at the top and bottom, their heads bowing as you pass, their armor glinting faintly in torchlight. Their presence is steady, their discipline unwavering, yet their silence is as deep as the corridors themselves. They do not speak unless spoken to. They do not move except to patrol. Their stillness is part of the castle's stillness, and you feel comfort in their quiet strength. In one hallway, you find yourself standing before the great doors of the council chamber. By day, it is a place of voices, of decisions, of arguments carried into judgment. By night, it rests. The doors are closed, the tables inside empty, the parchments rolled and sealed. The silence here is heavier, as if the very stones remember the weight of words spoken within. You linger for a moment, imagining the echoes of debates long past, before turning away, leaving the chamber to its rest. Further along, you reach the gallery, a long corridor lined with statues of ancestors carved in stone. Their faces, lit by the faint glow of torches, are solemn and still. Their eyes, though unseeing, seem to follow you as you pass. Each one carries the expression of dignity, of patience, of timeless watchfulness. At night, they seem less like statues and more like guardians, holding their vigil in silence while the kingdom sleeps. You walk slowly here, your head bowed slightly, acknowledging their presence as though greeting companions on the path. The silence of the corridors is not empty, it is protective. It gathers around you like a cloak, steadying your thoughts, slowing your breath. Every step reminds you that you are both ruler and caretaker, both king and guardian of peace. The castle is vast, its halls long, its chambers countless, but at night it feels unified, bound together by stillness. The silence becomes a ritual in itself, a nightly ceremony that cleanses the noise of the day and prepares the kingdom for the dawn to come. Eventually, You return toward your chamber, your walk complete. The corridors stretch behind you, filled once more with shadow and calm. You know they will remain this way through the night, holding their silence until morning wakes them again. The castle's silent corridors are more than passageways. They're the veins of the fortress, carrying the lifeblood of history, tradition, and watchful peace. And as you step back into the warmth of your chamber, you carry with you their calm, their stillness, their promise that all is well. The castle, at last, has surrendered completely to the night. The corridors, the courtyards, the halls, all of them lie wrapped in silence, a silence so deep that it feels like a living presence. Only the steady rhythm of the guards' patrols breaks the stillness, their footsteps measured and constant, like the slow heartbeat of the fortress. Above, the stars shine clear and countless, scattered across the dark sky like silver dust, their light filtering gently through high windows. The moon, pale and serene, glows over the towers, bathing the castle in quiet silver. The world has grown soft, and within these walls, peace reigns. In your chamber, the fire burns low, its embers glowing like faint jewels, casting warm shadows that dance lazily across the stone. The air is cool, but not biting, softened by the gentle warmth of the hearth. The curtains are drawn against the night, yet a small gap lets in a stream of moonlight, pale and calm, falling across the floor like a silver path. Your bed waits, layered with linen and wool, its weight heavy and protective. The crown rests upon its stand, the robes folded neatly aside, symbols of authority set down until morning. You are no longer the king of duty. You are simply a man preparing to sleep. The night carries its own music, soft and soothing. The faint hoot of an owl drifts through the air, followed by the distant bark of a dog in the village below. Somewhere in the stables, a horse shifts, its hooves brushing against straw, its breath rising in slow clouds. The wind stirs the trees in the gardens, their branches rustling gently, like whispers exchanged between old companions. These sounds are not intrusions. They are the lullabies of the world, the reminders that life continues even in stillness, steady and calm. You breathe in rhythm with them, your chest rising and falling like the tide of a quiet sea. As you lie down, you feel the weight of the blankets settle over you, grounding you, steadying you. The pillow cradles your head, soft yet firm, a support that invites your body to release its tension. You close your eyes, and the darkness is complete, gentle, and kind. Thoughts of the day drift into memory. The council, the market, the ceremonies, the laughter of the court, the silence of the corridors. They pass before you like pages turning, slow and inevitable, until they blur and fade. You do not hold them. You let them go, one by one, until your mind is as quiet as the halls around you. The guards continue their watch, their presence unbroken, their discipline unshaken. They're the sentinels of your peace, standing where shadows fall, holding the night on your behalf. The castle breathes through them, its safety secured in every careful step they take. Beyond the walls, the villages sleep, their cottages glowing faintly with the last embers of fires. Families rest in warmth, children dream without fear, the animals curl into their stalls. The kingdom lies still, carried together into the embrace of night. You feel their rest as your own. The bond between ruler and people is steady as the stars above. The chapel's candles burn to their final embers, their flames flickering one last time before fading into smoke. The statues in the galleries stand unmoving, their stone faces watching as the hours pass. The tapestries on the walls hang heavy, their colors lost to shadow, their stories waiting for morning light. Every part of the castle is at rest, held in a silence that is not absence but fullness. The night has claimed everything, wrapping stone and soul alike in its dark, protective cloak. You drift deeper, breathing slowly, each exhale carrying you further from waking thought. Your body softens into the bed, your mind loosens its hold on words, and the rhythm of sleep begins to take you. Dreams gather at the edge of your awareness. Dreams of starlit towers, of rivers glimmering in moonlight, of quiet gardens where time does not pass. They beckon gently, promising peace, promising rest. And you follow, step by step, until you are walking fully into their world, leaving behind the weight of crown and duty. The restful night belongs not only to you, but to your entire kingdom. It is shared in every breath of the guards, every sigh of the sleeping servants, every dream of the villagers below. It binds you all together in the stillness of the hours, reminding you that no matter the duties of the day, all souls need rest, all lives need pause, all hearts need quiet. In this truth, you find comfort, you find peace, you find the timeless rhythm of life itself. As the final embers fade and the moon drifts slowly across the sky, the castle sinks even deeper into silence. You sleep now, your breath steady, your mind at ease, your body embraced by the darkness. The night holds you, protects you, carries you. And with every passing hour, you sink further until nothing remains but calm. The kingdom rests, the king rests, and the world turns quietly toward another dawn. The journey of the day has come full circle, from the golden light of morning to the deep stillness of night. You have walked through the life of a medieval king. You have risen with the sun, guided your court, listened to your people, shared in their markets and their rituals, and finally returned to the silence of your chambers. Every moment, every sound, every breath has brought you closer to this, the calm embrace of sleep. Now the torches burn low, the castle is quiet, and the world beyond its walls lies still beneath the stars. The duties of the crown are set aside. The weight of decisions has faded. What remains is only peace, the steady rhythm of your breath, the warmth of your bed, the soft pull of dreams. In this silence, you are not only a king. You are simply a soul at rest, safe within the stone walls of your castle, safe within the endless rhythm of night. The guards keep watch, the villages sleep, and the land itself breathes slowly, carrying you with it. Let your thoughts drift like banners in the evening breeze. Let your body sink deeper into comfort. The night will hold you, protect you, and carry you toward the first light of dawn. For now, there is nothing more to do, nothing more to be. The kingdom rests, the king rests, and you too may rest.